dad. James Caan. James Caan was in Godfather also.
This is the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Yeah. He was Sonny.
Really?
Yeah.
I never caught that.
Yeah. Now you're going to look at Elf differently. It's a classic. You got Peter Dinklage who, takes up for DEI. Great. No? You're just overplayed for you?
Overplayed.
Okay. Maybe when we're 40, we will like Christmas movies. Good morning. This is the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral, BamaCentral.com. Hope you and yours are doing well. We're live in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios right here off of McFarland Boulevard, hanging out with you guys on the BamaCentral YouTube channel, on the BamaCentral Facebook page. You're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, you can find the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral. We're hanging out with our man, Theo Fernandez. Follow him at Theo Fernandez __ on the Twitter machine. We're going to have a lot of fun today talking about Alabama's newest basketball transfer portal player. Alabama bringing in a legacy target for a brother of Jamarion Davis. Jamarion Davis-Fleming has committed to Alabama, so we're going to talk about him today. We're going to talk about what Theo was up to last night. I guess we started off the show with Christmas movies. That I found out that Theo watches Elf every year with his family and is over it by now.
Never want to see that movie again.
Over it. All right. So we won't be talking about Christmas movies. You can leave us a voicemail if you've got favorite Christmas movies or thoughts on Jamarion Davis-Fleming or on Greg Byrne and what we're going to talk about here in just a second, or even the wildest crime you've ever committed. That's going to be on deck as well, as a former Alabama football player has committed a very wild crime. I guess that's the easiest and most appropriate way to quantify what this player did. So we'll talk about what Luther Davis is in trouble for as well. So 3 big topics today. We're going to talk about Greg Byrne and what Theo is up to. We're going to talk about Jamarion Davis-Fleming, and we're going to talk about Luther Davis this morning. We appreciate everybody for calling us on the voicemail line at 205-462-7340, extension 800. I do have a voicemail from Everett, so appreciate that. We appreciate Derek Daniel for sponsoring the program. Call Derek for all of your insurance needs at 205-758-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. And we appreciate Purple Turtle Roofing for sponsoring the program as well. You can visit them online at roofturtle.com for all of your products and services. It doesn't matter if you've got a metal roof or a shingle roof. You can call Purple Turtle Roofing at 877-787-6635 today for your free roof inspection. They'll come out, make sure that you've got the peace of mind that you deserve in your home. Purple Turtle Roofing. With that, Theo, good morning. How we doing, sir?
Morning. I'm doing great. Good morning.
It really is.
Sad.
Yeah, it really is. Is it going to rain today? Because I was thinking about cutting the grass, and as I drove over here, I was like, "Ooh, it's a little bit gray." Let's find out real quick. Tuscaloosa weather, because it was a little gray. 84. Yeah, I think I'll be able to cut the grass today. Sounds good. You're in the college life. You miss cutting grass?
I've got a lawnmower. I cut my own.
Okay, I'll bet. All right, I didn't realize that.
I love cutting the grass.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm looking forward to that today. A beautiful day. What were you up to last night? I saw you on Twitter. Follow him at Theo Fernandez _. It seems like you were having a big old one-on-one with Greg Byrne and a bunch of well-to-dos.
It was an event for sure. I mean, so there was a UA summit on sports media, and I got the spam emails from professors and stuff, and then I actually clicked on it. I'm like, wait, Greg Byrne is speaking at this thing. So I was pretty astounded to see that. So I sent an email, asked if I could show up with the camera. I said yes. So showed up and got to hear Greg Byrne basically go and break down the state of college athletics. And the title of the panel, which was hosted, by the way, by Cruz Oxenrider, which that threw me for a loop too. He's a really nice guy. He was fun to talk to, but the title was, "Is the NCAA dying?" Which is a pretty profound topic, right? For the athletic director of Alabama,
yes, it's dying,
to come talk to students about. And it actually ended up being a really cool experience. And there was a lot more substance to it than I thought there would be. You kind of expected fluff, especially Greg cracked a joke in the meeting that, oh, now that I was there filming, that he wasn't going to be able to say what he was going to. But then he said, I guess I'll say this all on the record. So he gave the stamp of approval on it. But it was a cool event. You learned a lot. The vice president of hearing operations for the NCAA, Derek Crawford, was there as well. And I guess he's got a lot of experience working with basically all the, eligibility cases and all the stuff that have been at the forefront. So he provided a really nice perspective, too, on internally the state of things and the changes that the NCAA is trying to spearhead. It was a really fresh perspective.
Is the NCAA going to survive the next 15 years, next 5 years, next 10 years?
So he said he thinks they're somewhere from 12 to 24 months away from being out of the Wild West.
Oh, wow. That's encouraging.
Yes.
Why? And that's like, honestly, I mean, it's not too far away in the grand scheme of things. Yes, 12, 24 months, that's 2 years, but come on, guys. Time is a flat circle. It'll be no time.
Yeah, and that was, so he was really nice. We spoke after the panel. I pulled him to the side and did a little interview with him, and he basically just said that he thinks everyone wants stability, and he thinks that everybody is willing to take the steps to work together to find that stability. And he said that part of it starts with the NCAA being better about working with schools, right? Knowing that with how crazy everything is, right, that there's so many question marks. No one really knows what you can do, and nobody really, everyone wants to kind of step over the proverbial line, right, that you're not supposed to cross, because everyone wants that advantage. But when you're in a position, it's a no-win situation. The schools are in a bad spot. The NCAA is in a horrible spot.
Yeah, the kids have them over a barrel. Well, yeah. Sorry, the agents have them over a barrel.
The NCAA is in a horrible spot because of its own actions, by the way. That's
totally.
Besides the point.
Totally.
But at the end of the day, I think you have an organization in the NCAA that's trying to make the best of a bad situation. And I think I think the worst is over as far as the pure chaos goes. You'll still have your crazy moments. You'll still have your flood in the transfer portal and, oh, how's the school spending so much on NIL?
Indiana.
Yeah, intro. But I thought it was a really cool event. I thought Greg was fun. Greg talked a lot. He talked about a lot. He torched Houston Millett for driving a car that's held together by duct tape.
That should be the athlete that he's holding up as.
Really, it was kind of like he was talking about how he likes that Houston is wise with his money, but then he threw that the car was held together by duct tape.
Come on, Houston. We can find you a local repairman who can either repair your car, or a local car dealer who would love to sell you a car in exchange for a small commercial.
I think Alabama fans should just let Houston drive their car, right? You have to trust him to get it back in one piece.
He can drive. I trust him. He can drive my car. I don't know that he would really want to, but he's welcome to.
I completely agree. And then the other interesting thing, the nugget that really stuck with me, was Title IX.
Cool.
When you have a ruling that requires schools, or that allows schools to give $20.5 million to the teams of its university subsidized money going into sports teams. Title IX, by that definition, states that money needs to be split. You guys know that no one is splitting it. It showed one of the women that was on the panel from Rowan University, small school actually up by me in the Northeast, was saying that 95% of D1 that is not splitting it by the definition.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No, I would say that's conservative. I would guess that's conservative.
And what I hadn't realized was there's stuff actively going on in the court system right now with female athletes and stuff trying to sue for, Title IX says we should be getting, I guess, $10.25 million out of this 20.5. But then Greg Byrne was saying and that was one of the areas where you kind of felt some frustration almost slip in from Gregory. It's we wish we had some clarity on this. We don't, because the NCAA doesn't have the ability to subpoena. Mm-hmm. That would be a crazy, ripple effect if they ruled, half of this money needs to go to the women's sports. It would be absurd. Like, it would completely flip the system upside down. I couldn't imagine what it would do.
What would it do, though? You would send 10 and a quarter across your women's athletics, and from an Alabama standpoint, you would spend a lot of that on softball and on women's basketball, and then it would kind of go into track and field. It would, I mean, give Doris every dollar basically for track and field, and then swimming and diving. You've got programs to use it, tennis and volleyball and rowing, but the other 10 and a quarter basically goes directly to football, and you don't have anything for men's basketball. And sorry, Rob Vaughn and the baseball team, you guys are totally SOL. Then you turn to your donors and say, you guys fund the basketball team, or you guys give us another 10 million for well, we really need 15, 10 for football and 5 for basketball at least. You probably need 20. You need 10 and 10.
No, it would throw things off so much.
Yeah, that's why. So was there any sort of, we hope there's going to be clarity. We hope that Title IX gets some power, some muscle to enforce this. What was Greg's kind of angle right here? Was he thankful that, hey, we don't have to cut 10 and a quarter over to the women's sports. We can spend it all on football, spend it on basketball. What was his attitude towards that?
No, I mean, he talked about how he loves Title IX, right? And the opportunities that it's given.
Of course.
He had to. I think, I don't know, and I kind of wish I'd asked Mr. Crawford some more about that. That's probably the one area I should have followed up in that I didn't. But they seem to have no clue on the timetable. Like, they just use vague terms like soon at some point. So I don't think it's really known, if we're being honest. I mean, I think I got the sense that they don't think it'll come to that, because I think they can argue, well, look, all this, if we're going off TV revenue, all this TV revenue comes from football and basketball.
Right.
And, women's basketball getting a couple games on ESPN and softball once in a while. That's an incremental amount of that. I don't know where it's going to land, though. Like, that's just something that I hadn't really even thought of before yesterday.
Yeah, so that's crazy. Greg gave any sort of kind of, did he give you any sort of confidence that Alabama's competing in the NIL sphere, competing with the Indianas? I mean, we see Aiden Sherrill go yesterday, not to Michigan State. So that just tells you, I'm sure that Indiana forked over 2 Brinks trucks for Aiden Sherrill. And great, good for you, Aiden Sherrill. But did Greg give any sort of indication that Alabama is competing with the upper echelon in the NIL sphere?
Well, I think the funniest moment from Greg was talking about how he has the quote, "comparison is the thief of joy," displayed right behind his desk very largely for every coach to read as they walk. I don't know if this was public knowledge before, but he has that up. So basically, anytime someone comes in to negotiate for more money, he makes sure that they can see it behind him. But he does say, like, yeah, every single coach is always asking for more money. No one thinks they have enough. We're top 5 in spending, which is something he said. I don't know if that was in the SEC context or nationally. I don't know what he was referring to exactly, but one of the quote that kind of made headlines on Twitter when I tweeted it was him talking about, basically, he referenced the death penalty given to SMU. And he talked about the idea of, well, we're not going to really respect and fully turn our attention to the NCAA's authorities until, quote, somebody gets their teeth kicked in. And then he adds, we are not going to be the team that gets our teeth kicked in. If the speed limit is 75, I've told all our coaches we are going to go 75.
77, Greg. 78.
A lot of these,
79.
A lot of these schools are going
81.
85.
Okay.
My rule of thumb when I'm on the highway is I don't go more than 15 over the speed limit. Mm-hmm. If you're like 12 over the speed limit, you're probably not getting a ticket. Mm-hmm. I haven't gotten a speeding ticket, so I think my philosophy works.
Good for you. I've gotten a couple.
I think you go 87, 75. Like, you're going, if you're following the rules to a T, if that's kind of the mentality you're taking.
Well, what kind of car is Alabama driving? Because when I'm driving on the interstate in my old car that was not suitable for the roads or for late night dates, it was I'm going 68 because that's as much as it can handle. Can the University of Alabama handle going 87 miles an hour?
So another thing that he talked about was the idea that, I want to make sure that whoever takes over for me whenever I'm done here is not taking over and being drowned in violations because I went about and did things the wrong way.
Sure.
Right. So I get the idea of you want to really play things to a T. Now, I would say the same if there was an NCAA executive sitting right next to me. So who knows, who knows how much you read into that. Right. But that drew some frustration from some people. Like, come on, you can stretch it a little bit.
Yeah, because when he says that when you got the quote, get your teeth kicked in your tweets and in your stories, I'm thinking back to, well, when's the last time anybody got their teeth kicked in? And people around here immediately go to the 04 or 5 NCAA violations that really kind of put Alabama behind an 8-ball. But that wasn't kicking your teeth. That was slap on the wrist. The last time somebody got their teeth really kicked in was when? SMU in the 80s? Like, honestly, SMU in the 80s, you've gotten on to Miami a time or two. You've gotten on to Southern Cal a time or two. Texas has run afoul a time or two. Alabama a time. But, ultimately, these programs have all gotten slaps on the wrist. These programs have all gotten minor infractions. You wrote, or you're going to write about a piece in Iowa, I believe, is in a little bit of trouble. Yes. But even Iowa, they contacted somebody outside of the transfer portal window time. Their punishment, slap on the wrist. The tampering is no one's afraid. They're publicly, well, we can't get our teeth kicked in by the NCAA. No one respects the NCAA's ability to kick anyone's teeth in. So, I agree with what he said last night. They're going to have to kick somebody's teeth in, whether it be Western Tech, Carolina U, or somebody else, your favorite school or your least favorite school. When that happens, then it was, we don't want to be Western Tech, Carolina U. Let's clean up all our act over here. Let's get above board. Right now, I don't really think that anyone respects the NCAA in the sense that, if we go 85, we will get burned. I wonder if the 75 mile an hour speed limit line was just lip service towards the NCAA.
No, I agree, because the courts keep telling the NCAA they have no power. Right?
Look at this year. Look at 2 months ago. Alabama tries to get Charles Bediako eligible. The NCAA rules him ineligible. He sues XYZ. He plays for 5 games. They ultimately say he's ineligible. Alabama's still in the tournament. No punishment. It didn't matter. It didn't matter at all. You tried to press the gas a little bit, and the cop car lit his blue lights up there, but ultimately didn't pull you over. You slowed down when the blue lights came on, and then the cops sped on past you. Nothing happened. You didn't get a ticket. You didn't get your license suspended. Charles Bediako didn't get to keep playing, so I guess that's what happened, and boo-hoo to there. That's that. Nothing happened.
And he still got to play 5 games that the NCAA didn't want him to play, which is the funny, you still got something out of it. Yeah, and I agree. There's no reason to respect the NCAA's authority right now.
Well,
they will make an example of someone, though. They will put it all together and say, okay, you guys are going down. That's going to happen, I feel like.
Well, hopefully they do. Honestly, even I don't want the quote-unquote death penalty on any program, but I think that's what it's going to do. And an SMU type of punishment, not we're taking some scholarships away. We're going to reduce your weekends to travel and to travel and recruit. We're going to, get out of here with these weak punishments. If you really want somebody to respect your rule, you're going to have to squash somebody like a bug.
Ironically, the death penalty, I was thinking about this last night as I was writing. If a school were to violate things so bad it got the death penalty, it would probably mean because it had absurd NIL coming in. They're going to go right back to that as soon as the death penalty is done. So the death penalty isn't even a death penalty in its current form anymore, if we're being honest.
So NCAA, not much recourse, but good that you spent some time with Greg Byrne last night.
It was fun.
Yeah, awesome. Did you tell him hi for us?
No, I should have. I didn't really talk to him.
Oh, unfortunate. Let him know who you are next time.
Yeah, sure.
Even without the camera. He's very personable, extremely personable. Big fan of Greg Byrne over here.
We're doing some good crowd work. They were all entertaining.
I'm sure they were. He owns the room.
Yes.
Theo, let's keep going here. Let's take a pivot and go to the voicemail line at 205-462-7340, extension 800. We've got our man Everett Osmer. Where is it? Let me click on it right there.
Hey guys, it's Everett from Marion. Really, Theo? What are you drinking in that blue cup that I saw you drinking in today? Y'all, please say positive things tomorrow. And I'm gonna change it up a little bit. Still, again, who is y'all's favorite Christian artist? Since I know Gaither goes to St. Mark's, but just want to know who your favorite current Christian artist is. And thank you, and have a blessed day. Roll Tide.
You have been a little more positive today. I think Everett's getting on to you a little bit for saying Alabama won't win a national championship in the next 12 years.
I also don't think he liked my protein shake I was drinking.
Sorry, what you drinking today? What is C4? Isn't C4 an explosive?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Watch out. Theo's going to be on fire today.
Blowing everyone up with my takes.
Favorite Christian artist, and maybe are you going to be more positive?
I'll be more positive. I'm working on that today. Greg Burns got me feeling good again. Favorite Christian artist, I really like, my minister put me on, it's this band Rebel Redeemed 316.
Okay.
They do kind of almost like Creed type music.
Oh.
It's like a rock. It's fun.
I gotta check that out then.
It's good. It's good like gym music. I like it.
I like me some Creed now. I gotta check that out. Everett, to answer you, I really like Lauren Daigle. I think that she's got a couple really good ones. But going back to all the way in my childhood, Stephen Curtis Chapman. That's got to be a top 2 or 3 right there. I was Newsboys. DC Talk was in my CD spins, in my CD rotation as a kid for sure. So yeah. Those are kind of some of my favorites right there. What's his Lecrae? I like Lecrae from time to time.
Familiar.
Well, he's kind of like a hip hop guy.
Okay.
So yeah, I like Lecrae. But Lauren Daigle is probably probably my favorite one right there, just because her voice is so soothing, Everett. So yeah, if you get a chance to check her out, and who is that again? Say the name of your Creed-like band.
Rebel Redeemed 316.
Rebel Redeemed 3. So what's the 316 stand for? No, appreciate you, Everett. We'll try to get Theo to be a little more positive in the future.
Positive,
look, can we move you from? Because you weren't quite sold on Dax's 3 years, win a national title in the next 3 years. What's the middle? Not 12. The middle of that
7.
is 7.
Yeah,
right.
We met at 7.
Can Alabama win a national title? Will they win a national title in the next 7 years?
No, that's why me and Dax have our $100 bet. And at the end of the 2033 season, Dax will be handing me a $100 bill.
You got a lot of time to save up that money then.
We'll both be rich by then, so it'll be nothing.
Exactly. Bunch of car washes and save your money, and you'll be able to pass that off pretty easily.
There we go.
All right. Well, Everett, appreciate your call. You can call the voicemail line at 205-462-7340, extension 800 if you want to be a part of the program. And look, you can ask us anything you want to. You want to get on to us for our takes, that's A-OK. You want to ask us a question, you want to talk about transfer portal targets, whatever you like, at 205-462-7340, extension 800. He left a laughing emoji reaction on Facebook. So there we go. Let's keep going here on a Thursday, huge Thursday, a lot of fun as we get into the weekend. Alabama taking on Texas baseball. We'll hear about that tomorrow a little bit. But let's reset and go back to yesterday and go into the basketball transfer portal. Alabama, we just kind of teased it just a little bit. You officially lost Aiden Sherrill. That was a given by now. Indiana ended up coming with a big old bag for Aiden Sherrill, and congratulations to Aiden and the Sherrill family and everybody connected to that. I hope that really works out for you. Indiana has not been into the NCAA tournament in 3 years. I think they were 18-14 this past year under a first-year head coach. Now they spent a bunch in the portal this portal cycle, so maybe they're going to get things back corrected over in Bloomington. But quite a choice. I would say that is a choice for Aiden Sherrill.
College basketball is better when Indiana is a good program.
Agreed.
You know, I was so convinced that he was going to one of the Michigan schools.
Me too.
Right?
Michigan State had his name all over it.
I'm surprised by it, but I'm sure it was a crazy amount of money. So I think he'll be a big time player.
Do you believe the rumor from Field of 68 who said $4 million for Aiden Sherrill? I want to clarify rumor. What do you think the validity of that is?
Well, we heard substantial rumors of a $2 million offer, but it was probably mid or late February.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not surprised by it.
$4 million?
I'm not surprised, man. For him to go to Indiana, I wouldn't be stunned.
I wouldn't be stunned at all either, really. 11 points and 6 or 7 rebounds this past season a game.
6.2.
Wow. And so we'll see if go to Alabama, develop for 2 years, then cash out at $4 million, and you can play at a basketball. Is Indiana still blue blood? No.
Yes.
Yes.
You don't lose.
Do you lose blue blood status?
They're kind of like a Nebraska almost.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I want to see that program be good again, man.
Indiana?
Yeah.
Why?
It's historic.
What, 76 undefeated season or 72 undefeated season?
76.
I think it was as well. Congratulations. Good luck, Aiden Sherrill. Awesome. Alabama pivoted pretty quickly and pulled in a replacement in Jamarion Davis-Fleming out of Mississippi State, and this is younger brother of Javion Davis, who played at Alabama 2018 to 2020. I think Javion Davis went the opposite route. I think it went Alabama, UAB, Mississippi State, or Alabama, Mississippi State, UAB.
Yeah, I think it was that order. I think UAB was last.
Alabama, Mississippi State, UAB. But the brother is going Mississippi State to Alabama. Jamarion Davis-Fleming averaged 3.7 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 1.3 blocks as a true freshman in 32 games for a pretty bad Mississippi State team. 6'10", 240 pounds, former 4-star recruit, former number 1 overall player in the state of Mississippi in the class of 2025. You're starting to build a little bit of a front court at this point. Front court now looking like Jamarion Davis-Fleming, looking like Brandon Garrison, looking like Keaton Bristow, and looking like Colin Onyeka. What do you think here? That might be a front court.
I think you've got your starting center now. I think Davis-Fleming can do it. I think he'll be fine. I don't think the numbers tell the whole story for him at all. I think this is a guy who is relatively athletic and is, you're not playing him more than 30 minutes per game or anything, barring crazy front court lack of depth, which we've never seen that before on this team. But, you're not expecting to play him those kind of minutes. I think he is the best center you have on the team. I like the pickup.
I do too. And I think that you can really operate with hey, go give me 7 minutes and come out and rest for a little bit. And we'll just rotate Davis-Fleming, Garrison, Bristow, Onyeka, and you'll just 8 minutes a pop, 6 minutes a pop, then come sit down, 6 minutes a pop. I think it's a good move. And I think you continue to see the pivot of, last year we struck out with some small school guys. This year, if we strike out, at least we're going to strike out with 2 guys who have SEC experience and Davis-Fleming and Garrison. We ain't doing this Bucknell experiment anymore. I like this pickup because of his athleticism. I think that he shows pretty good defensive prowess, 2 blocks or more in 10 of his 18 SEC games. And then he ended up with 3 games of double-digit scoring, all against Power 4 opponents. I like Chris Jans, but I just don't really think that Mississippi State's operating. I like Chris Jans because he seems like a nice person, but I don't really think that Mississippi State is operating at an extremely high-level basketball program. Despite Josh Hubbard being amazing, when I think about state basketball, I'm like, that's nothing. It's no. And so I'm not really sitting here like, well, this guy's no good because he had bad numbers at state as a freshman. Like, these numbers aren't bad for a total freshman. Bad for somebody who was a role player over there on a bad team. We'll see. I think this is a good pickup.
I do too, and couldn't have been that expensive. I don't know.
Hey, that's the other part. That's the other part. Is you look at Garrison and Davis-Fleming, and you're like, neither of these guys could be $4 million a year type of guys. These are not bargain bin. That's not nice. That's not the right word. But these guys are value pickups.
So now it makes you wonder. First of all, I would expect Alabama to add one more front court piece, just one more, like a Phillips guy, like one more depth type player. Are you gonna land that splash? Are we gonna see a guy like Blackwell? Are we gonna see a guy like Dylan Mingo come to Tuscaloosa? Because it feel like, where's this money going right now? This money is going probably not a lot to Aiden Holloway, probably a decent amount to London Jemison. Are you saving money for, like, as Amari Allen told you? Yeah, I might be coming.
Yeah, you're
back.
saving money for Grant Hill.
Like, I don't know, because it's either you have the money for Amari if he wants to come back. Without a doubt, you have the money to land one of these big-time guys. And Blackwell is, to my understanding, a $4 million type of player. Don't get me wrong, he is a big-time player. I'm very curious to see what we're doing. I mean, top of my list is Mingo. That is just a no-brainer if you can somehow get him to Tuscaloosa. But you've got a lot of flexibility and a front court that I'm getting pretty happy with.
Yeah, you got 3 more spots remaining, and really 4 if you bump Preston Murphy Jr. off of scholarship, which I think is a tiny possibility at this point. I think he's not going to get bumped because of the numbers. Exactly. But if you needed a 4th scholarship, you could find it if you really needed it. But you got 3 more spots left. I do think that you're going to want to be finding – I think you're going to be wanting to find one more big to throw into this rotation in case just something happened. Like, as much as I do, I you guys know, if you watched and listened to the show at all, I was a big Collins Onyejaka fan as a body type, as a style. I think that he looks the part, but you never know what's going to happen with somebody's heart. And I don't want to project or predict what's going to happen with somebody's heart. I hope everybody's heart great, pumps forever and on time and great, functions. And they say that Keaton is going to be back healthy and all this rest is going to, be what he needs. But what happens the first time he gets bumped by somebody or something happens or jumps up and lands? I don't know. And wishing him good health, I am, but you just don't know. I think you need another body that is more insurance, because like what we saw this past year, that should freak anybody out. You should fill all 15 of these scholarships so that these injuries, the injury bug that plagued you last season, you got to mitigate that as best you can by filling out all these scholarships.
Go get yourself a 5th big man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So we'll see what Alabama does over the next couple of weeks. The transfer portal closes next week. You don't have to be on your new school by next week, but you got to be out of your first school's roster and into the transfer portal by then. So if you're looking for Keaton Bristow, if you're looking for Collins Onyejaka, if you're looking for Davion Hannah, you can only be waiting for about 5 more days. If those guys have not made any announcement by the 21st, right now, it does look like they are all trending on staying. Trending. Anything can happen in the middle of the day today. Anybody can get a phone call with a crazy offer, but trending on staying. You just got to hold out until the 21st, and we'll see how this roster shapes up.
And you got to remember, it could be as simple as, I want to stay at Alabama, and then another guy commits, and that changes things.
Totally.
Like, not like just pure hypothetical here. You land that guy who you think's gonna be your 5th center, and then someone like Keaton Bristow says, well, there's too much debt. Like, I'm gonna transfer now. That's just pure random, but it could happen with anyone in any position, and it happens with teams all the time where you think you have a guy secured, and then you add someone, and he's out of there. So you don't write anyone down as being on the roster until that deadline closes.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see how that goes for the next handful of days as we monitor Alabama basketball in the transfer portal. Theo, before we finish up, let's tell everybody about Purple Turtle Roofing. At Purple Turtle Roofing, we're not just another contractor. We're your neighbor and your advocate when it comes to protecting your home or business. With years of hands-on experience, top-tier certification, and a commitment to excellence, we've built a reputation as Alabama's go-to roofing solution. We specialize in residential roofing, commercial roofing, emergency storm repairs, full-on roof replacements, insurance claim support, and more. You can visit them online at roofturtle.com today to check out all their products and services. It doesn't matter what kind of roof you have. You need to make sure it's checked out and inspected by Purple Turtle Roofing. Call them today at 877-787-6635. They'll come out and give you a free roof inspection. Yes, it's free to have them come out and to check out your roof. They'll give you the peace of mind, the information that you need so that you can make a proper and informed decision. Call them today, 877-787-6635, or visit them online at roofturtle.com. All right, Theo, let's finish up with a weird one because, it's summer and we're about to get into well, not yet, but we're post-football time, so it's the summer for football. And so it's time to kind of get creative. Next week's the draft. Oh, my gosh. If the draft could be in 6 weeks and now we could talk about the draft for 6 weeks, that would be great, but we can't. We only get 1 week of NFL draft. So let's go a little crazy here and talk about some crime. What's the weirdest crime you've ever committed? You talk about speeding. You 12 miles an hour over the speed limit. You ever done anything? You ever, taken a donut from somebody you shouldn't have, or I don't know. I don't want to put anything out there for you, embarrass you, but neither of us are hardened criminals. But nothing can live up to the story we're about to talk about. Here you go. Have you ever impersonated someone?
I've never impersonated anybody.
You've never had a phone call and impersonated someone?
No, I'm innocent on that front.
All right, so just quick story. When I was working at my last job, Tide 109 on Skywood Boulevard, they have lots of regular callers, and great. And I loved all the regular callers. They were great. There was a regular caller who had a very, very, very distinct voice, extremely distinct voice. And so one day I called the afternoon show from my office downstairs, and I spoofed as this caller, "Hey, this is so-and-so," and the caller, the producer who's upstairs, who was my employee, did not recognize my voice. And so I said, all right, we got this. Great. And the radio host at the time put me on, and I ran a whole call as this caller with a very distinct voice. Well, the rest of the show was hijacked because it was, that wasn't me. The actual caller called in. That wasn't me. Whoever that wasn't me. I didn't call and say those crazy things. I don't know who's, and they were irate. And the rest of the show became, who's impersonating this caller? They need to be nice. They're not. And I just giggled to myself all day long.
You didn't call back again?
No, because once you drop the bomb and walk away. But that's the worst thing I've ever done, impersonating someone. I should have impersonated this caller to a point and asked the radio host for $20 million. Unbelievable. If you're not paying attention to anything because you're too busy in your life, that is A-okay. But if you didn't see this, former Alabama football player, that's why we're talking about this, former Alabama football player Luther Davis is expected to plead guilty in a $20 million fraud case where he is accused, allegedly impersonating former NFL players, current NFL players, former Alabama football players, and trying to procure very, very large loans. How nuts is this? Like you can't be. How desperate are you for money? Well, what is this? Luther Davis is charged with a conspiracy to commit wire fraud and aggravated identity theft. Both are felonies. He's working with an accomplice named C.J. Evans, and is attempted or actually attained 13 loans in the name of former NFL football players. So the football players that were affected by this, Michael Penix, David Njoku, and Xavier McKinney. Those are the three players. Obviously, Xavier McKinney, the Alabama connection.
Bama on Bama crime.
Right. What are we doing here? You're impersonating Xavier McKinney to try to take out a loan in his name that you will ultimately not pay back. That is insane. Okay, so here we go. According to the report, the alleged scheme involved multiple phases, Theo, including the use of fake identification. You'd expect that. Using the impersonated players' names. All right, you'd expect that. Nothing crazy. They also fabricated financial statements and made fake emails with the players' names. Also things that you'd expect. But here we go. Davis also went as far as allegedly wearing a wig and makeup in loan meetings, according to the report, while impersonating David Njoku. While impersonating David Njoku, he also showed a fake Georgia driver's license that had a picture of Njoku on it and was linked to the driver's license number with a woman in Savannah. Davis also wore a do-rag while impersonating Michael Penix Jr., as Penix Jr. is typically seen wearing a do-rag under his helmet on the sidelines. Unbelievable.
Did he sign the documents with his left hand?
Yeah,
impersonating Penix?
Right. Like, what in the world is this?
I mean, look, I don't condone crime. At a certain point, you have to respect the commitment.
Yeah, how bold you are, how brazen you are.
Like, who in their right mind thinks they can go out and pretend to be another NFL player and walk away with 8 figures?
Now, here's the other part. Do you think that they got caught on to the David Njoku part? Because you remember, Njoku last season had the house fire. Right? Had the house fire, and very great, very good that he came away okay. But he was in a house fire and lots of burns all over his skin, had lots of deformations and markings and scarring from the house fire. I wonder, and this is totally just a guess, if you don't look like somebody who's been in a fire. Well, it just the scheme is so crazy to me that. And maybe it just shows my innocence or shows my lack of creativity. But it's just like, man, what do you think you're going to do? What do you need $20 million for? I mean, we all need $20 million. Everybody could use it. But, like, I don't know. I think the risk is it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's not calculating in my head and spitting out an answer that makes sense.
In a hypothetical world where I was going out and taking out loans, pretending to be a millionaire, and it fooled them every time, I'd probably get addicted to it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. $19.8 million is the actual 13 loan totaling $19.8 million.
How'd he get caught?
He's in trouble. According to multiple phases, wearing a wig, do-rag. There is no how he got caught. It's just more background. Highly touted recruit out of Louisiana, 4-year career at Alabama, 47 tackles, 8 for a loss in 45 games. Chose Alabama over. Yeah, this guy just needed to finish his word count. Chose Alabama over Florida State and others. So don't be committing crimes, folks. And if you're going to look, my girlfriend. Oh my gosh, drives me nuts when she puts on her Joe Gaither voice and starts impersonating me, and I'm like, I don't sound like that. But like, at least that's harmless. She's not stealing money. She's not going to the bank and trying to take out loans in my name.
That's what you think.
I need to check on that today. And maybe this is why she's been practicing.
Could you have 13 million missing from your account?
We might.
Is that where all the money went?
That might be exactly where what it is.
That is a crazy story, man.
You go from playing at the University of Alabama. He was a national champion here. He was 08? No, excuse me, 07 class all the way through to basically 2011. 2011 he became a sports agent, or a lot of these other articles are calling him bagman. Basically, he became the runner for some of these agents right after college. Just crazy. Documents and text messages indicate Davis made direct payments to several college football players. Davis provided, man, he's just been all involved in a bunch of financial crimes since 2011.
Imagine it's going away for a little bit now.
Oh, I mean, that would be the assumption.
I don't think you walk after something.
Is there anyone you could impersonate? Is there any voice that you're like, I think I could pull this voice off on the phone?
I'm awful at accents and impersonations. Like, I just don't have it.
So no acting career for you?
No acting career for me.
Okay, well, we tried. I got a friend who is He really should be a voice actor. He does all kinds of just different accents and voices and characters and stuff. He's got himself a little reel, and you can find him, and he's great at it. He can impersonate basically any cartoon character you want.
Who would you impersonate?
Who would I impersonate?
You've got Dave Chappelle down pretty good.
Yeah, okay, decently. I feel like I've got an F- Nate Oates in me. What else? Who else do I have? Do I feel good about impersonating? I feel good about impersonating a lot of wrestlers. A lot of. It's WrestleMania weekend. You gonna watch it?
I will not be watching. Over
Yeah.
Bama, Texas, get out of here.
Yeah. I mean, you watch baseball over March Madness when it was right in front of you,
And NBA playoffs starting. Like, I've got my secondary thing on too.
Yeah, it's been a really bad WrestleMania season. Really bad.
No John Cena, and it all falls apart.
No John Cena. He retires last year, and they said, "Come save us. We need you to host the event because he's hosting WrestleMania this weekend because everything's falling flat."
How's Obafemi doing?
Obafemi's taking on the biggest program of the weekend. He's taking on Brock Lesnar. Great. I think they're going to have him win. And that'll be the story of the weekend because the two main events are pissing contests. They've been told, the stories have been totally bad, very bad, very, very nonsensical, very like, what is this? Who wrote this? Who's on drugs writing this? Who's smoking bath salts writing this? Not even the good drugs, taking like terrible psychedelics.
Terrible psychedelics.
So we'll see. I will not be watching. I'll watch a little WrestleMania weekend, but mostly I'll be in on softball because I'm on Alabama, Kentucky softball this weekend.
Should be a sweep for the Tide there.
Should be 3 5-inning wins, 5-inning run rule victories. Hopefully, 5 o'clock, 1:30, 1:30. So we'll see. Let's get out of here for the day, Theo. Unless you got anything else for the people.
Let's get out of here.
All right. So we'll be getting out of here. We're going to find out if Henry Sklar wants to join us tomorrow. If he does or doesn't, we'll find out in the morning. I don't want to tease that and then have him not show up again like last week. So that's okay. We hope you all have a great day. We hope you enjoy yourselves. Follow us at BamaCentral.com. Follow us at Theo Fernandez _ at Joe Gaither 6. You can leave us a voicemail at 205-462-7340, extension 800. Visit roofturtle.com and check out Derek Daniel at Derek Daniel and call him at 205-462-7340. 205-758-3391.